What's going on, Disc Golf World? My name is Kevin Jones, and I'm joined by Luke Humphreys. We're here to present you guys the 2020 Minnesota Majestic. How are you doing, Luke?
Solid, Kevin. Happy to be here with you. As always, we are in East Bethel, Minnesota, competing in one of Minnesota's oldest tournaments.
Yeah, this tournament's presented by Prodigy Disc. And how many Prodigy players do we have on the card today, Luke?
Well, we've got you, James Conrad, Cale Leiviska, and Ulibarri. So 2 of them on the card. We want to thank Blue Ribbon Pines especially for allowing us out during this kind of pandemic time. It's
First on the tee, we have James Conrad. James Conrad is a super good straight line thrower. Everybody, you probably already know him. Let's see what is he opting for here, Luke?
That's a C-Line MD4. Looking to turn it over and play the straight shot. It might have snuck by, giving him a putt, but he looked to start that a little bit right. Cale Leiviska up next, Minnesota native. Looks like he's ripping on an FX2. He's been liking that disc ever since it came out a few months ago. He's got a real beat-in white one that he's been using. And last but not least, Arizona's own Ulibarri. Playing the hyzer.
So of all the holes actually on this course, this is one of the more basic ones. Would you agree with that, Luke?
Yeah, it's a great hole for the fans. I think that's what it is. It's just, it starts at the tee box, the clubhouse, and shoots away from it, and everybody can kind of sit there and see you off. It's, a signature hole out here with the big pines and the red mulch. And that's a great shot from you. What are you ripping on, Kev?
That's a mid-range, an M2, something that's just really straight and going to hold the line, whatever I put it on.
Yeah, that was well played from you. Long bid from Cale. He's putting with P Model S's, glow variety. Whoa. Stop it. Right off the bat. He just feels comfortable out here. I think that has something to do with being able to hit a big putt like that to begin with.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to represent for his Minnesota crowd here. He's a huge fan favorite. Everybody here loves Cale. And he gets to start off the Minnesota Majestic with a huge putt like that.
Dead center. James clapping, showing him a little love. Trying to follow up. Looks to be just inside circle 1. He's got the hair up in the ponytail to start. No worries, even with the little branch. What are you thinking? A couple birdies, everybody's getting putts. Like, you thinking this is going to be a hot round or what? It's a good start so far.
There's something to be said about a 27-hole round. They're extremely long. It's like a journey, I always say.
Yeah.
There's so much that goes on in 27 holes. It's 3 nines. It's pretty crazy, and it's really intense.
Yeah, you got to stay patient. There's going to be ups and downs for sure, good shots and bad. But that extra bonus 9 holes, I kind of like it. Lots of people who are back 9 players
You have 2 back nines, is that right?
benefit from that. Star frame from our lead card, that kind of makes sense. Easier hole. What do we got for number 2, Kev?
Hole 2 is a par 4. It's a shorter 2-shot hole. We're flying down the left fairway right now, which is actually a brand new addition to the course. Something that Ray Jordan, the owner of the course, has done, just been really determined to get done. And now it's a really clean option that you could actually try to attack the green in one throw, technically, but it obviously brings in tons of danger.
Right. If you had a smash forehand or just a long, straight backhand fairway driver or something, maybe you could go for it. James opting for a putter, guessing he wanted that a little higher, turning it over. I'd say that even with that left fairway, most players are still opting for the traditional route on this.
Ideally, yes, I would agree with that. Ooh, Cale getting greasy. Very, very crucial, though. Now he's in perfect scoring position.
Yeah, greasy.
I do agree, though, that I think the right side on your second shot is a tiny bit more open, but the fact that there are 2 fairways there, we're always going to be trying to decide what we do on our second shot, depending on where we're sitting.
Yeah, well put. Agreed. That might have been Paul looking to pump it down that left fairway. Is that what you're doing?
I don't think so. I think he was playing up to the right there, just hung it a little wide.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunate kick there. That's when you can get in big trouble, is if you kick right off of that tree.
And now you kind of have the option to attack via that left-hand fairway. Before, if you had... No way. Wow. Yeah, that basically wasn't an option last year, and before that, it's makes it a little easier.
I guess it just gave me a chance. I could have gotten in a lot of trouble by doing that, but at least it gave me a chance to still get my birdie.
Mm-hmm. James is going to be playing like a tricky horseshoe almost. You can't even see the basket. It's left of the screen. He needs that to be even more left.
Right.
But it didn't hit anything. Left outside the circle, I'm guessing. Cale, after getting squeaky off the tee, going for that turnover down the left lane. Oh my goodness.
Beautifully done right there.
And that's Cale to a tee.
So Cale executed 2 really nice shots there, and he's going to be knocking in his birdie for sure.
Yeah.
2 for 2.
Yeah. Uli listening for chains, is that what he was doing?
No, listening for trees is what he was doing, because you kind of have to throw it around the corner and then really hope that it doesn't hit one of those guardian trees, and unfortunately he caught one, which is going to leave him like 50 feet and downhill.
Yeah, this is an average position for players to be putting their birdie from. Just long bids down the hill. James throwing his patented greenie.
Yeah,
J.K. Avier.
Yeah.
Disc is famous.
It is, actually.
Oh, a little left, but it stays. Great putt.
Nice. That was about 50 feet, huh?
Yeah, that was. You were right. No wobble out of the hand. He's kind of gone to a new putting style where he would have stepped and he putted that in the past. He's got this little low kind of pitch spinner.
Right. I think he still does the Annie putt from a certain distance, like maybe a little bit closer. Do you know?
I don't. He is always fidgeting with his game. One of the game's technique wizards. He's got a lot to say when it comes to form and stroke. He's an encyclopedia of knowledge. I don't know if that's good or bad. It does lend him to try different things, though.
James Conrad knocks down a par there. Was that right?
Yep, got himself in a little bit of trouble. Cale. One of the easier threes you'll see on that hole. That second shot, he made it look so easy, but it wasn't. To hold the ceiling like that and not hit anything, that's well done from him. And you are rocking a mustache.
Oh my gosh.
America's seeing it for the first time. That's Officer Jones to you. Here, one of the signature holes out here for sure, and early in the round, a test.
That's right. Actually, one of the signature holes of our country. This is an epic hole, a par 4, 444 feet. I mean, you got to throw it straight, right?
Yeah, or you're penalized.
Yeah, it's beautiful because we see players kind of just differ in whatever they want to do and how they attack this hole. A lot of people opt for a couple of putters. A lot of people opt for a mid-range. Cale almost always opts for his M4 here. Oh, it was looking perfect.
Did that slide OB?
No, I don't believe it. No, it didn't go that far, but there is OB over there that we didn't mention. Left side fairway. So if you scream off to the left, very likely you could be OB, but if you don't go OB, you're in actually really good attacking position. This is a PA3 from me. Probably 80%.
Oh my goodness. Perfect.
Yeah, being in the fairway with a clean run-up is huge on this hole.
You couldn't place it any better than that. But you are talking about that left fairway. If you have a righty forehand, it's a great place to be. A little skip shot around the corner. You're not ever aiming to be in that position, but if you find yourself in it, you can definitely get your 3. James also going putter.
Oh, and he kicked off the right side of the fairway, and there's absolutely nothing on the right side of the fairway.
No, and the pines that guarded the fairway now keep you out of the fairway. And just to get yourself back in and try and progress forward is a task in its own. So James isn't in ideal position. We'll see what he can do. And here's the third play.
That's right. This is the third option of a play, and that's just blast something fast all the way down to the end. And Paul Ulibarri,
What in the world? How's that a play?
such a sick shot.
Man, I saw him do it in leagues. You were there. He piped it and put himself to 40 feet. He
That
can
absolutely
execute.
deserves a shout out.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's not just a fluke. He does this all the time. He's got video of himself birdieing this hole. He was showing it to us as he piped that drive the other day. Confident in full throws. That's what Uli is. It's just a different style of game. Cale, maybe not even thinking about the basket, just knowing if he puts it pin high, he'll be left with an inside the circle putt.
Yeah, I think he was trying to drag it a little bit right, but you're right. And oh gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Huge mistake right there.
Dude,
Awful shot and punished to the fullest.
why did you do that?
Why did I do that?
Yeah.
I can't answer that one for you.
No doubt. I'm sorry. Put you on the spot with that question. That'll be an interesting up and down for you.
Oh, it's super trouble over there.
James. Nearly keeping it on the mulch. Old Greenie. Shredding woods.
He played that really well. He kicked off on the right side, laid out to a scoreable position, and got par.
Yes, there we go, baby.
No way. That looked like jail.
Yeah, that's really cool that we got to see that angle.
Yeah, and now you've given yourself just outside the circle or so?
I think circle's edge.
Now for an eagle bid. A little shy. He drained one on the last putt. I was thinking he might get this one as well.
Still, though, gonna pretty much tap in a birdie. That's nice.
Cannot complain about tap-in threes on this hole. Up and down flip roller from nowhere. That's fantastic. After that second shot, I thought 5 was the best you were going to do.
Yeah, that was a massive scramble right there. When you kick off the right side, usually you just get yourself into more trouble by trying to get out of trouble.
Man, Officer Jones with the up and down. And look at you. You can tell. Well played. Nice little crowd. Not the normal Majestic crowd that you'd see, but definitely some folks out to watch disc golf.
Nice birdie there from Cale.
Insane. Good for him. Hall. This might be one of the times he goes to this Annie putt. Let's see. Yep.
A little bit. It's pretty flat from inside the circle. Kind of just dropping the disc in there. Super touchy.
Mm-hmm.
Nice birdie from Paul and a great par from James. You got to give James credit for taking his medicine right there.
Yeah, 2 3s and 2 4s. That's fantastic on that hole.
Look at this replay.
So high, so hyzered.
Yeah.
Committing to an angle. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, Cale, 3 down through 3. The front 9 of this course is brutal.
Yeah, to be 3 down, I mean, he's already setting himself up nice. That's basically what you're doing. Once you get done with the 9, you can start to collect your birdies. If you have any before then, they're just bonus.
Hole 4. Par 4, 565 feet. This is a special par 4. This is OB that we're flying over currently, all of that area. Really, your idea is to get as close to that OB as possible if you're trying to get a birdie on this hole. Cale with a common play, that's a backhand turnover. He's going M4.
A kick, but not a terrible one.
No, for a backhand approach shot, it's going to be difficult. But for par, solid.
Yeah, this is coming in as the hardest hole on the course, round one. So players are met with challenges off the tee and then that OB that Kevin talked about earlier.
Paul Ulibarri throwing so high again. Oh, there it was.
Kind of filtering through, though. He'll be left with a forehand shot from there if he wants to get a little risky on the green.
He'll have some options. I'm going with a really flippy distance driver right here. Idea is to glide it super far to the right. That was pushed well too straight, though.
Whoa. That kick was wild. Was there roll involved?
Probably a little bit of kick and roll down to the left.
So you'll be met with a couple different options from there. A layup in front of it or possibly going for it if you're feeling a little... You know, we got Cale shooting 3 down. You don't know what the pace is going to be early.
Sure.
Get in front of it.
Needs to penetrate now.
Wow.
Beautifully done. That is a really, really good landing area.
That's just behind the short tee pad there, which is a perfect place to land.
So I'm going aggressive here. Oh, I love that.
F5?
No, D2, glidey D2.
Okay.
Just like smashed a hyzer over the OB. And I actually hit the arch tree and it kind of kicked me forward and to the right. So a fortunate kick.
Okay. And you'll be left with a jump putt for your birdie. Force out of Paul. Not a terrible kick. That kicked him backwards safe, did it not?
Yeah, safe backwards, but he's disappointed at that gap miss.
Yeah.
So this is where it's just dangerous.
No
And yes, he
way.
did. Cale has thrown some, I can't even imagine how many insanely good shots Cale has thrown on this hole in his whole life.
Yeah. Yeah, he just steps up and knows that he's done it before and feels confident to do it again.
I think so.
That was gross, though.
I've seen him probably play this hole for less than 1% of his life, and I've seen a ton of sick shots like that. Conrad with another aggressive, and that's worst case scenario. That's the teeth on this hole being showed right there.
Yeah, he was trying to force it over and let it pan out as to land flat. Paul misses another gap with his forehand. He'll have a chance to save his par, though. James, from his OB spot, looks to be about 55.
Maybe even further uphill. This would be a really, really good make.
Just beside it. Good bid from James.
Good bid. He's going to be making a 5, a bogey on this hole.
Which is common. This hole played a half stroke over par, 4.5 average. A lot of people find in OBs. There were 26 OBs on this hole. 3 people took 7s. 14 people took double bogeys on it.
Whoa.
Yep.
What was the handicap of the hole?
It was the first. It was the hardest hole on the course. Right after the 4th hardest hole on the course. So back to back, just in the first 4 holes, you're challenged early. You can get kicked in the teeth and it kind of dictate your round if you don't let things go sometimes.
Yeah, this part of the course you can dig yourself a hole that's pretty big in just a few holes.
Yeah, and it happens to great players too. You just got to remember there's 23 more holes that you're going to play, so don't take this too serious and get yourself moved on. Oh, great putt.
Nice soft make there from Paul Ulibarri, showing confidence.
Mm-hmm.
James is putting for a bogey right here. And that's going to move him to even par, which is, that's fine after 4 holes. The best of the best are going to want to have a couple birdies, but at the same time, we understand these holes are tough.
Yeah. The way that the course sets up for James, he could very well shoot 15 under. This is not dictative of what's going to be, the rest of the round. He'll have a bunch of birdie chances. He'll be throwing a bunch of putters. I see him bouncing back.
I agree with you.
Nice little replay of Cale after that greasy little backhand.
Yeah, and the 4 down through 4.
Goodness gracious. He's won himself a few Majestics. He kind of knows what it takes, and he's got the home crowd behind him. Hole number 5.
Such a beautiful hole.
Great hole. Because it keeps you from being able to rip. You're going to have a 320-foot approach into the green, basically minimum. And you got to throw through a fairway that's pretty tight to start off the tee.
Yeah, it's a hole that so many people would enjoy playing because it doesn't take huge distance to execute.
Not what we expected after 4 through 4 from Cale.
No, you expect him to pure this line right down the middle. This is a good Cale line, but he does worst case scenario there. He's going to be in some trouble struggling for par. I'm actually way to the right as well, but get through.
Yeah, bounce back out. You see a lot of people hit those trees and just kind of move the disc left. It's not super penalizing to miss over there, but can be. A lot of mid-ranges and putters off the tee. I don't see this forehand play very often.
That's a really difficult shot. That's a really touchy forehand shot with a mid-range.
Gross. He's left with that'll be tricky right inside the little rock green with the red mulch, trees everywhere.
Very tough from there.
See what he can do with that. James going to the putter.
We ideally want to get past those trees that Paul's right in the middle of. If you can get past those trees, you're faced with a much more routine upshot.
Not the typical drives we'd see from the card that's played pretty well so far. Nobody past the trees.
Yeah, this is trouble right here from Cale and James.
Cale's playing a putter layup shot.
That's a great recovery right there. Still caught that guardian tree, which is just kind of annoying, right?
Totally. I mean, he's basically where a decent drive lands now.
Yeah, a decent drive. He's got a lot of work left to recover a par.
Mm-hmm. And James has a full-speed driver in his hand that looks to be a Wraith. I think it was.
So he had the full run-up, which is nice, but couldn't get past the guardian trees, and now this is a tough up and down for par.
He's looking like he's playing a force over. Could be a Firebird out of him. What is that, a Night Strike?
I think it might be like an overstable disc. Yeah, he had to go around, so it probably is a Firebird. Coming back almost perfectly. I don't know how much better he could have done that.
I don't think he could have done it much better. It had to be a Firebird, a slower disc, so that it could get the full flight like it did. He'll be left just outside circle for his par. That's fantastic. And you are, flicking a fairway driver?
Yeah, this is a F5. I think this is the first time I'm showing this disc. It's a new addition to my bag. Really flat top F5. Nice straight sidearm disc. I'm loving it. I threw it way too low there, but good mistake, though.
Yeah, I've seen you throw it a ton of times really well. Fun to see a hyzer flip forehand. Just the touch it requires. 750 D1 out of Cale. This one's been in the bag for a little while. Just also maybe a little low.
That looks like Cale might be carding his first bogey of the round and his first non-birdie. Whoa, the balance from Uli right there is...
Oh my goodness, hits that little dead one. Looked like it was pure.
It was so good.
Incredible balance, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a trick shot, essentially. You see James do that sort of thing sometimes, but
Yeah, James is really, really good with that.
Yeah, the footwork that requires to make sure it's not a foot fault. And that's well done.
Not the exact line I was wanting, but great result. Whoa, and that was directly on line.
Cale not wanting to card that bogey.
Not at all.
Working for that par. Not going to have it this time. Looks like Uli's lining up a hyzer putt, which is typical from a spot like this. This green is guarded. If you're short, you have to maneuver the disc one way or the other to access it. James is left with basically the only straight putt you can have left short.
What was the hole average on this?
This came in as the 8th hardest hole. There were 13 birdies on it, and it was 0.28 over par.
Just blowing by right there from James. Super great bid.
Yeah, not the smoothest hole for James thus far. Looking for him to turn it around. This next hole is a James type of shot. I kind of look for him to bounce back on that one. Got a few tap-ins after this. How was the weather out there, Kev?
This day, it was really, really nice day, actually. I think it was around 75 degrees. The wind wasn't too crazy. Just a beautiful day in Minnesota for some disc golf at a beautiful piece of property.
Yeah, Ray Jordan and Angie over at Blue Ribbon Pines do an incredible job keeping everything ship shape over there for us. They care about the golfers big time. It's fun to see. They treat us well. It's an amazing property. You guys should definitely check it out if you haven't already. Hole 6. Definitely one of the tougher tee shots on the course.
Yeah, this hole's in my dream 18 if I had to make it. I think it's such a beautiful hole, first of all, with the grassy fairway right here, but the difficulty of the hole is phenomenal.
Yeah, gap off the tee and then gap into the basket. And if you're at all short, you're not skipping or sliding up to the basket. You're left with a circle's edge putt.
Tee shot's really important here. Getting down the gap somewhere is ideal.
And that's a mid-range out of you, isn't it?
It is. It's an M4.
And 372, that's a smash. What just happened?
I caught a tree on the right side after penetrating. Just some good luck. Caught a tree on the right side, kicked back. I think I'm like 30 feet.
Nice. Take it, especially on this one.
The tiered levels are just an awesome addition to the hole.
Right, and it's got the Kobe basket on it.
A beautiful Kobe basket.
Yeah, number 8. Just a little shout out to one of the greats. I think it's pretty cool that Ray did that.
Yeah, I'm with you. Cale looks like he has H3 V2 in his hand. Needs to penetrate forward. Not a bad result.
Yeah, he'll have a putt from there. Looking to get it a little flatter.
I don't think anybody's really counting this one as a gimme, right?
No, not at all.
What's the handicap on this hole?
This hole comes in as the 5th hardest hole on the course.
Okay, so this hole 9 right now seems like it's in like the top 9 handicap.
Yeah, we're through 6 and we've already played 4 of the first 5 hardest holes on the course.
Wow. And this is a Conrad type hole. He does a really nice job of just lasering the disc up the right side of the fairway.
Yeah, that's an old KJ Nibo T-bird he's throwing. Uli left with a flick putt. Needs to turn it just left of those twins that you can see at the base of the log.
Well done right there.
Yeah, needed a little more turn, but finds its way through the trees, and he'll be left well inside circle. See, Cale's probably got to shoot that little field goal there.
If he wants to make it, and he does. That was so close.
Just short, like a millimeter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top of the cage, some chains, and just out. Cale is on right now.
He's dialed. Dude, committing to it, man.
Nose down angle helped me there.
Goodness grief. You may have been the guy that everybody was talking about who was working harder than them during this COVID experience. I mean, we've commentated a few rounds now this year already, and I'm starting to see like, bro, you came to play.
This one means a lot to me.
Yeah, you're the defending champion as well.
The course is so legendary as well. It's just an amazing feeling being out there competing.
Yeah, I mean, look at that shot. Red mulch, brown mulch, purple and gold.
It's so gorgeous.
Looks like everybody else is getting their pars. You grab a stroke on the card.
I believe James actually got a birdie too, did he?
That is right.
James snuck it up to basket high.
Whatever it takes.
Nice. Such a nice...
Sick shot. Yeah.
So after that tough hole, it actually brings us to... Is it the easiest hole on the course?
Yeah, it is. It might be the easiest hole in Minnesota.
Maybe, but I doubt it. Because this one still gives me some goosebumps every time I'm trying to tee off on it.
Yeah, it's so short that you feel like it's a must get, but it's also tricky, and you don't get it all the time.
No.
What are you doing here?
I'm going for a jump putt here.
Yeah, it's the jump putt hole, as we call it.
It is.
But it's a challenge in itself. Perfect.
Yes, not the intended line, I have to be honest, but there is essentially one tree to miss on this hole, and as long as you miss that tree, you're going to be down there somewhere, and
Yep.
I'm luckily right under the basket.
Yep.
James has a nice jump putt attempt at this. He'll flip up his greeny AVR here. So much snap on the jump putt that it flips up. And now he's actually in a little bit of a tricky spot. He's behind the basket. There's some trees in the way, but at least he's down there with inside the circle putt.
Yeah, and that had a chance to go OB as well.
Uli found the one tree that you have to miss there.
Uli looking a little frustrated.
Nice play, Cale.
And Cale with a nice golf shot.
I mean, how many times has he peered that gap just like that with that disc?
Countless times. Has to
Hundreds?
be.
I'm saying hundreds.
Yeah.
Uli just trying to lay it up under the bucket, I'd guess.
Yeah, when you try to run that putt, you can actually sneak by quite a ways. There is OB back there as well.
Yeah, it's inside the circle. It definitely needs to be thought about. James did have an obscured putt you referenced. A little wide with it and 24 feet coming back. Little right, maybe a slight shove from the bucket. Not very typical of what we see from James. This hole came in 0.34 strokes under par, 45 birdies, and over 50% of the field getting inside circle one in regulation. It's like an interesting hole. I talked some smack on it the first time that I played it, but when you kind of explained to me that things are, it's a challenge. Just like all other challenges, it's different and it's unique, and you have to overcome, and you got to break it down and make it happen.
That's exactly how I see it.
Yep. It kind of helped me, and I was jump putting that M3.
Yeah, mid-range jump putt. It's such a funny hole, and you're not gonna get it every time either.
No, not as many as you feel you should.
James today took a bogey on it that we saw.
Yeah.
And according to him, that was a jump or a 4-putt because he putted from the tee, so he calls it a 4-putt.
Yeah.
But anyways,
basically was back-to-back weird holes though. Here we are.
This hole right here, hole 8, is a 90-degree Anheuser hole
With a double mando off the tee. The play is to cut it inside. I think we both agree if you're trying to park it. And it's kind of just a crapshoot.
It is, for the most part. It's hard to describe the hole because it's so unique, but there is one tree that you can try to kind of slice inside of, but Cale's not going to do that. Cale's playing wider, and he's trying to float it back and kind of glide it back down this hallway, and it's such a difficult shot to execute. Plus, they're dealing with a tailwind, which makes it even more difficult because it just pushes the disc to the ground and straight.
Totally. Yeah, that's a 10 out of 10 difficulty shot that Cale is attempting at that point. Rock 3 from James.
James is opting for the wide route as well.
Just kind of half throwing, full spinning it up there on a good angle, trying to stall it and then let it come back. That looks to be deep. Yeah, I mean, it's so easy to throw deep. You're trying to throw it like 80 feet in front of you. Just an interesting challenge again.
Right, and when you're off the fairway on this hole, you have to get really creative in order to find your par.
Yeah, you've got 2 trees super close to the basket, 3 trees, I guess, super close to the basket. So even if you're inside the circle, you can have a hard time converting on that putt. You're left with a jump putt and hyzer. You got the COVID, buddy, or is that just something in your throat?
Water down the wrong pipe. Is that what that is? Thank you,
on.
Luke.
Yep. No COVID here. Cale, decent bid for his 2. I think the fans thought it had a chance.
So this is long of the green here where James is dealing with. He actually has a little run at it. Just low, and I like the way he played it, though. Pretty much par at worst, and even had a nice little bid there at birdie.
Yeah, 165 feet, and this hole played over par. 0.16 strokes over par.
165 feet, and it played over par 3. That's nuts to me.
Yep, 3 people did get the birdie on it. Chris Hall, Mitchell Privet, and Billy Armstrong. So shout out to those guys.
That's definitely worth the shout out.
Great shout out, Paul. I like the candid stuff Par Save gives us. It's not seen on some of the other coverages. It's cool to see him up close.
Yeah, they're giving us some awesome coverage right here. The last hole of our front 9, the first of 3 9s of this course, a really special hole and an insanely important tee shot here, Luke.
Yep.
This is when your nerves, at least for me, I'm starting to really feel some nerves on this hole. But if I execute the tee shot, those nerves are immediately gone and replaced with a lot of relief.
Yeah, for sure. One of the top 5 most crucial tee shots on the course. If you hit early, it's basically jail. You're setting yourself up for a rough hole. You're lacing on a forehand.
So I'm throwing a Lavender X1 there, and man, it got nice and greasy and up to a really good spot.
All the way down there. Maybe a little tricky with that post.
But I'll take it with the distance. And Cale looks like an M4. Perfectly played.
Gross out of Cale. Yeah. He's done that a few times. He basically set his disc down exactly where he meant to put it. I'm sure he'll have a better approach from there. Paul ripping full speed.
So high again. He goes for everything on every tee shot.
It's awesome to watch.
Yeah, it's just part of his game. He doesn't play the slow speed discs like a lot of people like Conrad and myself. He opts for the fast speed, and he's really good at lacing shots like that.
Yeah, when it works, he makes holes so much easier than they are.
I'm thinking this is a flippy rock from Conrad here.
Yeah, I'd agree. A little early release, but fighting up to a decent spot for him.
Yeah, past the meat of the hole, you could say. He actually has a kind of straight line here at the pin, but a very difficult shot.
Late carry of the pond makes this one super tough. I'd say the best bet is to rip it past the basket and try to hit a putt coming back. That's exactly what he doesn't want, though.
No. He got up really close to the hole, almost parked it. Was he trying to lay up there, you think?
I wonder.
I'm not sure. I think he threw a putter. It's tough to say. Either way, really close.
Go in. Oh my goodness. Cale backhand as good as you can play it.
That is exactly how Cale draws this hole up, and that's how he imagines playing it every time.
Paul throwing stable forehand, looking to catch that log. It doesn't. A little bit tougher putt.
Tough putt. Back at the water as well.
Yeah, definitely a penalty for missing that one. You outstretch.
Yeah, awkward footing.
Yeah,
Don't want to hit my hand on the sign.
This is a circus shot. You're lining up right here. Whoa, little step forward. Stable putter?
Just actually glidey putter, so I could throw it on a hyzer and let it push.
Thank you, sir.
I'm very happy with that shot, though. That's pretty much automatic.
No, Paul.
Air ball.
Interesting that he went to that style. He's now jump putted 2 different styles. Cashed with the other style.
Did he anhyzer jump that one?
Yeah.
So his step putts are when he does the Annie step, the Annie putt.
And then he straight up jumps the other way. Don't. Stop. Oh my goodness.
Disappointing miss from Conrad there.
Yeah. Soft ground. I don't know if he had the right footing that he wanted, but that's a mistake for sure.
And Cale for another birdie, going to 5 down on the front 9. Can't ask for anything more than 5 on the front 9.
I'm blown away here. I had such a hard time with this front 9. To watch Cale just backhand his way throughout it's mind-blowing. He's a wizard.
It's really something special.
And James going to 2 big after that bogey.
Both these guys, James and Paul, are not going to be satisfied with where they are. They're going to be fighting and clawing back on the 18 holes that remain.
Yeah, we've still got 2 9s coming at you, so jump back in. Thanks for joining us on this one.
Thank you, Prodigy Disc, for sponsoring the coverage for us, and thank you, Parsave Productions, for providing us with this great coverage. Hope you guys are enjoying it. If you are, come check out part 2.